It might just be time. It might just be that time that a new point guard of the NBA has arrived. Tyrese Haliburton is currently doing unprecedented things in the NBA right now, and he isn't even a top usage player. Right now, he has the 82nd most usage out of players that have averaged 25 or more minutes a game. He's leading the Pacers to being the number one offense in the league, as they're averaging 126 points per game with an offensive rating of 122, which would also be the highest offensive rating for a team in NBA history, although this is only a 10-game sample, and that record does get broken almost every year at this point with the continuous offensive development in the NBA, so take that with a grain of salt. First, get ready because I'm about to throw a lot of stats at you, and I mean a lot. Without him on the court, they have an 113.95 offensive rating, which jumps to 127 when he's on the court. 10 games into the season, he's putting up 24.7 points per game with 12.5 assists per game on 50-40-90 splits. With this insane assist average, he only averages 2.1 turnovers a game, which would make him second in the league behind Mike Conley with an assist-to-turnover ratio of about 6. This is a testament to how great he is at protecting the basketball, along with the setting up of his teammates with crisp passes that are right on the mark. What's even more insane to me is the fact that he generates 33.4 points off of his assists, which combined with his averages means that he's responsible for 58.1 of his team's points each game, which is 46%, if not close to 50% of his team's points. This being on low usage, short possessions, and quick passes. This efficient offense has contributed to some of the most efficient high-scoring passing clinics in NBA history. In the past 2 games, he's had a total of 32 assists with no turnovers. These were both against the Sixers, with the first game being 17 and the second game he had 15. To put this into perspective, here's a scatterplot of every single game where a player scored 25 or more points with 10 or more assists and no turnovers. Starting at the 10 to 13 assist range, there's players like Steve Nash, Steph Curry, and Derrick Rose. If you move over to the right, you'll see some of the highest scoring games with Stephon Marbury and Larry Bird scoring 40 or more points with 10 or more assists and 0 turnovers. Now if we go up the list, we see Magic Johnson, James Harden, and finally, Tyrese Haliburton. He's tied with LeBron James and Michael Adams for the second most assists with no turnovers in a game. He's also on this list twice, by the way, as he's had 2 consecutive 15-plus assist games with no turnovers. Now, if we removed the 25-plus point requirement, he's on the list a total of 4 times, with the other 2 coming from last season. To add even more perspective onto this, Magic Johnson has 4 of these games, Chris Paul has 3 of these games, and Steve Nash has 2 of these games. Alright, here's the final stat that stuck out to me. There are 27 reported players in NBA history to have multiple 10 or more assist games with 0 turnovers in consecutive games. Where do you think Tyrese is at? If you guessed number 1, you'd be correct. Last season he had a streak of 3 of those games, and this season he's already at 2 in a row. In these 2 games against the Sixers, he was simply dominating. To start us off, Bruce Brown passes out of a half-court trap to Haliburton, who takes a preparation dribble while squaring his eyes to the basket, which causes Maxey to jump out. This leaves Obi Toppin wide open in the corner for a 3. Another play in the half-court, he fakes a drive which draws Batum inside of the 3-point line, allowing for him to pass out to Miles Turner running behind him, and Batum has no time to react as Tyrese screens him out of the play, leaving Turner with a wide open transition 3. Tyrese is also really good at getting these fake shot passes off, which draws in defenders leading to wide open 3s. Here he has Turner on the roll, and as Reed drops to defend against the pass, he attempts a layup, except he actually doesn't, and at the peak of his release he flips it to Turner for a wide open dunk. Right here, he uses a pass fake which completely stops Melton in his tracks from getting a contest on him, allowing for him to take a pull-up jumper. His lethal scoring mixed with his elite needle-threading ability confuses defenders, making them decide whether or not to contest his shot. Tyrese comes down the court, Turner slips the screen, Tyrese just brings the ball up, and both defenders intend to move towards Turner but realize that Tyrese is shooting from deep, except they're too late. Once again in transition, he attacks the defense on the drive, drawing two defenders in, and he already knows Turner is wide open in the corner for a three. You see so many times where he just makes the defense collapse on him, and here it's just an amazing turnaround pass while he's in the air. He also doesn't always need the ball in his hands. He's good at making secondary passes off the touch with precision. Even with 3 seconds left, he doesn't rush a shot when he receives the ball and finds the wide open man for a triple as the defense caves in. On the break, he can use a single head fake to get the defender to bite, and he does this here as Tobias Harris takes a step inside, and that momentary hesitation creates an easy scoring opportunity for Obi Toppin. His offensive awareness and understanding of opposing teams' defensive schemes results in him making cross-court passes with zero difficulty. Right here, he makes a simple but brilliant play, faking a DHO which makes both Maxey and Harris bite, and he gets away with another open three. Watching him play at times, it seems so effortless what he does on the offensive end. It's not as if he has some elite in-between game or shifty handle, but he perfectly uses screens to get to his spots. Just look at him maneuver this defense here and put up a hook shot over Embiid. It's honestly ridiculous what he can do. Another pass fake stunts Beverly, also removing Melton's momentum, and he gets to the basket for a fancy finish. Coming down the court, he toys with the defense, exposing Batum's inability to make quick turns. He crosses over so Batum has to turn to catch up to him, steps back so Batum squares up to set his defensive stance, immediately crosses over again, and now a step back? Yeah, that's cash. He does this again, using Batum's backpedaling momentum against him, and takes it to his right to once again get right to the basket. Just look at how he forces Robert Covington to constantly turn his hips off of these sharp crosses, and he's left with so much space off of the step back jumper. It's enjoyable to watch, and it's simply good basketball. He's now joined both James Harden and Oscar Robertson for players to average at least 24 points and 12 assists in the first 10 games of the season, and I'm excited to see what else he'll do for the remainder of the season. After his first All-Star appearance, the season immediately after, he's already looking like an All-NBA caliber player. And this elite pacer offense that he operates is what compensates for the defensive deficiencies. If you enjoyed my analysis, feel free to subscribe. If you didn't, well, thanks for watching anyway, and I'll see you later.